here to the studio to talk more about the upcoming concert, Donato Cabrera, Kevin Days. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Okay, so Antonin Dvorak, obviously from Czech, but emigrated here. Do we count him as an American composer, and what are we looking at with this, the concert?
I believe that's the point of the project, is to make people aware of the fact that in the late 1800s, Dvorak came here, was invited here by Jeanette Thurber, who was the head of the National Conservatory of Music in Washington, in New York, and just to start the process of creating a classical, American classical music tradition.
He was so influential, not only in New York City, where obviously he was with the conservatory, but really with the face of music, or with the culture around.
At the time, Dvorak was the most famous living composer in the world, with, of course, Tchaikovsky. These were the two big names, and they were both coming to New York City at the time. And for New York City to get Dvorak to move to the United States was a coup. And it was really amazing to think of how important that was for our country to bring someone like him here. Yeah,
to find an identity when it comes to music. Has America found, or did America find their identity, and what is, I guess, American music when it comes to it?
Well, I think in the classical tradition, he was pointing America towards its own indigenous music, both Native American music and the music of songs of sorrow that came from the slave tradition. And so, whereas before that, a lot of American classical composers were looking to Europe for their inspiration, he said, no, look at home. And so it began that process, and then a lot of wonderful composers came after Dvorak, American composers who were writing more in an American style.
So what will we be listening to? What will we be hearing at this concert then?
Well, we'll start off with this great piece, a late piece by Dvorak called the Scherzo Capriccioso, which is a really fun piece for the orchestra. Then we do this great thing called the Hiawatha Melodrama, which we reenact and talk to the audience, both of us, and Kevin will be singing some songs and playing some music that sort of set the scene of what America was like in the late 19th century, and how important it was, and how incredible it was that Dvorak came here and what that influence was.
Yeah, I mean, you can really hear the story of America in this music.
And then after the intermission, after this is over, we perform the entire symphony from the New World Symphony, which is his
Symphony 9, the kind of the iconic.
Yeah, everyone is aware, and wonderfully so, everyone knows this piece of music.
If you want to go just because you enjoy music but you're not familiar, what will you get out of it, and will you be able to have that same connection as fans of Dvorak?
I think that's the particular charm of this show, is that for people who may not normally go to hear a symphony orchestra concert, they're seeing something that's a multimedia event, and we're giving a lot of background information on how this music developed and where it was meant to go, and so I think it's good. Even if you're a novice, you could have a good time at this.
It's just some good
concert.
music.
It's really beautiful music.
And you can hear your own roots and your own history.
That's right.
Out there a little bit. Thank you so much for coming in. For people who want to go, when is the concert and how do they get tickets?
Saturday evening at 7:30 p.m. at the Smith Center. lvphil.org is our website.
There's all the information on your screen right here. Antonin Dvorak in America. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. We'll be right back after this.
Thank you, John.